if you have an understanding of why Mr. Darjean has sued you.
To try to get out of going to jail.
You think he filed his lawsuit against you and I guess your dad because he thought he was going to have to go to jail about what happened?
Yes.
Were you aware that ultimately what CPS determined as their final determination was that Mr. Darjean had not done anything improper with your son? Did you know that?
No, ma'am.
Did you press charges against him with the police department?
I do not recall.
Did your parents?
I'm not sure.
Have you ever seen any police records or documents that say that Mr. Darjean did something criminal and wrong to you?
I haven't seen anything like that.
Have you ever talked to any police people who were involved in y'all's incident who have come to you and said, hey, what he did was a crime, what he did was wrong, something like that?
No, I'm not really sure.
Okay, so is it accurate to say as we're sitting here today, you're not having any recall of a conversation like that?
Would the police know?
Yeah. Who told you that what Mr. Darjean did was a crime?
Everyone who was there, who's seen it.
And
Myself.
Besides you thinking that, what people have told you that that's what they think?
I mean, getting assaulted, getting choked by any grown man, I think that's a crime.
Okay.
Did Shilo ever accuse you of choking him?
He probably did know Shilo.
He did?
Yeah.
You said he...
Objection non-responsive. What people have said to you that they think that it is?
Everyone.
And tell me their names.
If I told you what happened, you would say that's a crime.
Objection non-responsive. Tell me the names of the people, of the everyone, who have said to you that they think what happened to you was a crime.
Everyone, like, I don't know how to...
I'm asking people's names, the names of people that...
I don't know everyone's names, but...
So who do you know? Whoever you do know, tell me their names.
Teachers.
And what are their names?
I don't know everybody's names. That's what I'm saying. I don't recall everybody's names who just told me that was illegal what he did.
Do you know the name of anyone other than you thinking it yourself?
I just don't remember like their exact names from like the teachers. I don't recall their names.
Okay. Anybody besides teachers that have said to you that they think what happened to you with Mr. Darjean was a crime?
My mom.
Okay.
Pilar Sanders.
Okay. Anybody else?
My grandma.
What's your grandma's name?
Jeanette Serdula. I started walking back over to the front. I don't know if he hung up with my dad because I wasn't in there. I remember I was talking to my mom, so I can't tell you if he hung up with my dad. But
Do you recall telling John Darjean on the telephone when you spoke to him on September 17th, 2015, that Pilar has no custody over Shilo Sanders at all? She is not even allowed to talk to Shilo. She is crazy. She is kind of cuckoo. She's recording everything that you're saying now. She is trying to set you up.
I don't use the words crazy or cuckoo.
Do you recall telling him anything like that?
I remember telling him I have custody.
like I was just walking around like in the gym and I was talking to her.
At this point, has any teacher or staff member or administrator at Focus given you permission to be on the phone at this point in time?
I wasn't in the class.
Well, you were supposed to be in Mr. Darjean's office, right? That's where you'd been sent.
No.
Is that where
If I was supposed to be in there, then I wouldn't have walked out of like around the gym.
Did Coach Hart send you there?
Darjean was there. Are you talking about after they looked at my bag?
Right.
I think Darjean was there.
Did Coach Hart send you to Darjean's office?
Yes.
Okay.
Either he sent me there or I walked over there with Darjean.
Okay. Anything about being sent to someone's office that made you think it was okay for you to be on your phone?
It was in the gym. His office is over here, right side of the gym. His office is the left side of the gym.
Gotcha.
In the middle, you can see each other.
But anything about being sent or having to be taken to Mr. Darjean's office that made you think it was okay for you to be using your phone?
Yes.
What made you think that?
Informing my mom, because they think your dad has custody, your mom doesn't need to know anything.
And
So,
that's why you called her.
yes.
Okay, other than you believing it was appropriate for you to call her because she needed to know what was going on.
Yes.
Other than that, anything that makes you think that from the school's perspective, okay, Mr. Sanders, that it was acceptable for you to be on the phone when you're having this whole situation occur with the coach and Mr. Darjean and the dice and the bag, anything that makes you think that that was okay, other than you feeling like it was an appropriate thing for you to do?
I don't understand that question.
Yeah.
Is there a written rule, like what you're saying? Or how do you want me to answer that?
Truthfully.
All right, so what was your question?
So the question was, did Mr. Darjean, Coach Hart, any other administrator, coach, staff member, teacher, adult who worked at Focus Learning Academy say to you, Mr. Sanders, it's okay, you can keep talking on your phone even though we're right in the middle of trying to figure out this whole dice thing? Anybody tell you it was okay for you to be on your phone then?
No, they didn't tell me it wasn't okay either.
But you know you're not supposed to be on your phone during class.
At that time, they didn't tell me it wasn't okay.
Objection non-responsive. You know you're not supposed to be on your phone during class.
We
True?
weren't in class.
Objection non-responsive. You know you're not supposed to be on phone during class, right?
We weren't in class.
Objection non-responsive. You know you're not supposed to be on phone during class. True?
We weren't in class.
Objection non-responsive. You know you're not supposed to be on the phone during class time. True?
We weren't in class.
Objection non-responsive. You know you're not supposed to be on the phone during class time. True?
We weren't in class.
Objection non-responsive. You know you're not supposed to be on the phone when you're in class. True?
Not true.
Okay. It's okay to be on the phone during class?
Unless your teacher says you can't.
Oh, so the rule was that you could be on the phone during class anytime you wanted unless the teacher said you couldn't.
That's a known rule.
Okay. I thought before what you told me was you weren't supposed to be on the phone during class unless your teacher said it was okay.
Objection.
Did I say that? I don't recall it.
But your understanding of the rule at Focus was kids could just be on their phone during class unless the teacher told you to get off the phone.
If the teacher's teaching something, you can't be on your phone.
Because it would be disrespectful.
Yes.
Because it would be...
The teachers there usually don't teach anything. So a lot of kids are on their phones.
Okay, objection non-responsive. It would be during the time that you were dealing with Mr. Darjean and or Mr. Hart, Coach Hart, neither of them told you it was appropriate, okay, or acceptable for you to be on the phone talking to anybody, your mom or anybody, while they were trying to look at your
No,
bag.
they didn't say that.
Okay.
They did not say, oh, you can't be on your phone because we're trying to figure all this out.
They didn't say you couldn't be, and they didn't say you could be.
Yes.
And you knew that what those two adults were trying to do is to discipline you or to try to figure out your situation that started with this whole dice situation.
No. Darjean said I couldn't be on my phone after he got off the phone with my dad. And
I remember telling him I have custody.
that's after I walked off.
Yeah, objection non-responsive. At the time you're talking to Coach Hart and Mr. Darjean, when he brings you to Coach Hart's office, you knew that those two adults were trying to deal with you as adults to a student, a kid, about this issue that had come up in class with the dice. And then at some point, you remain on the phone with your mom, and then Mr. Darjean does actually verbalize the words, you need to get off the phone or something like that.
When he gets off the phone with my dad.
And how did Mr. Darjean say it to you?
Hey, you need to get off the phone.
Mr. Sanders, did you think the only reason Mr. Darjean was saying that was because your dad had told him to?
Objection form.
I don't know. I don't know what they talked about.
You just know that Mr. Darjean hadn't said that to you yet until he got finished talking to your dad.
I don't know.
Well, did he ever say it to you before?
No.
Okay. So then do you go ahead and, now that an adult administrative type person has told you to get off the phone, Did you get off the phone?
I walked away. Yes.
And where's Mr. Darjean at in relation to you as you're walking that direction?
Behind me.
Okay, and what's he saying to you?
He knew that my mom was on the phone.
What's he saying to you?
He was trying to get the phone from me. He was like, give me your phone.
Okay. Why didn't you just give him your phone?
Because my mom was on the phone.
Why didn't you say, hey, Mom, I'll call you back. Mr. Darjean wants my phone.
Because my dad had said I was going to juvenile.
So were you worried that this whole going to juvenile thing was fixing to happen if you didn't have your mom still involved trying to kind of help you with it?
What's that question?
Yeah. The whole time you're keeping your mom on the phone is because you've heard your dad say he was going to send you to juvenile?
No.
Okay, so when Mr. Darjean says you need to get off the phone and hand me your phone, why don't you just say, Mom, I'll call you back?
Because I heard I was going to juvenile, and just in case anything happened, I need my mom to know where I'm at, because they're not going to tell her anything.
So because your dad had said he's going to juvenile, you wanted to keep your mom on the phone.
She was on the phone already before that.
Mr. Sanders, I appreciate that. I've asked you why, when you were requested by an adult and a staff member at the school to hang up and turn over your phone, why you didn't do that. You've told me because
I didn't feel safe.
You told me you had heard your dad say you were going to go to juvenile.
Yes.
Okay. So, and you were concerned that if you hung up and handed the phone over and you then got sent to juvenile, your mom would not have any way to know where you had been taken.
Yes.
Because you don't think your dad would have told her.
Nobody would have told her.
Objection non-responsive. You don't think your dad would have told her.
No.
You didn't think your dad would tell her, did
No.
you? Did you think he would tell her?
No.
So, and you're saying the school didn't think they were supposed to be talking to anybody about anything except for your dad.
They know I have a mom, and they know that they're supposed to contact my mom, because she's contacted the school and requested that.
Well, and in fact, Mr. Darjean did talk to your mom about this whole dice situation, right?
Yes.
Okay. But your concern was,
Because I asked.
and he did it,
Yes.
okay? Your concern was that if y'all disconnected on the phone and you turned over your phone to Mr. Darjean and then you got sent to juvenile, your concern was that the school wouldn't tell her where you got sent and that your dad wouldn't tell her where you got sent.
Yes.
Okay.
But I could tell her if I'm still on the phone, which I was.
And then your dad did exactly what he told you he was going to do, didn't he? The
What?
next day he sent you to juvenile.
Not before something else happened.
Was there something else, the fight you got in the next day when you went back with the kid in class?
No, it was when Darjean choked me and slammed my head against the,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah. My point was, your dad said, I'm going to send him to juvenile, and then he in fact did. You said it was like 1 or 2 days in between, send you to juvenile. He did
Yes.
send you there.
Yes.
He was already going to send you there before.
No, he wasn't.
Did he not say, I'm going to send him to juvenile? Did you-
After Darjean had called him,
Right. So after, and Darjean talks to him well before you.
he's been threatening me with juvenile probably since I got back from the first time.
Your dad has.
Yes.
Okay. And so, and Darjean talks to your dad before you and Darjean have your physical altercation, right?
Yes.
Okay. So even before the physical stuff occurred and your dad heard Darjean's side of it, or Darjean told a side that wasn't right in your opinion, even before any of that happened, your dad had already told Darjean, and you heard him say it, I'm sending him to juvenile.
Yes.
That was already his plan.
Objection point.
He's been threatening me with that.
Okay. And that was another threat. He made that same threat again that day.
Yes.
Okay. And you took it seriously because you thought you were fixing to get sent, and your mom wouldn't know where you were getting sent to.
I always take it seriously.
Okay. And you took it seriously that day.
Yes.
Took it so seriously, you didn't do what the adult told you. You hung on to the phone, right, so that your mom would know what happened to you.
After what seems like forever, I'm finally officially back full time with my mom. My mom having full custody of me is all I've wanted for years. Thank you to the court system for finally seeing the truth and putting me in a healthy and loving environment.
And then you've got prayer hands and the 100, right?
Yes.
Okay, so what was the truth that you're thinking the court were finally seeing?
There's a lot of lies told. I mean, I don't know if I can get into what happened in court. I don't know if I can get into that because there's a lot of lies told in court, and like that's it.
Had you told lies in court?
Oh no.
Okay. Were there lies being told about you in court?
About me, about my mom.
Were the lies being told by your dad?
Checking for him. I don't know.
Well, who else would be telling lies in court about you and your mom?
Yeah, it was probably
Your dad?
Yeah.
Not your brother or your sister?
My younger brother and sister?
Yes.
No.
Did Shilo ever accuse you of choking him?
He probably did know Shilo.
He did?
Yeah.
You said he probably did?
Yeah.
Did you ever choke him?
You have just witnessed some of the allegations I've endured before finally receiving a judgment in my case against Shilo Sanders that caused me to be permanently disabled. Thank you for following, whether for or against me. There is so much more to my story. A documentary is in the works about how my love for baseball led me to a place that would change my life. How I found support just when I felt I was alone in the fight for me and my children's survival. How the support added to my faith led me to a place of acceptance, love, and forgiveness. I will post the release date of the documentary on this channel. So stay tuned. God bless. Make peace be still.